Okay, this week we have the 2025 BMW M4 Competition Cabriolet. Under the hood is the S58, a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 with an 8-speed M-Steptronic transmission with MX drive. This is the LCI, and now it is making more power. It makes 523 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. The Cabriolet is only available in all-wheel drive, and it comes with an M Sport differential, adaptive M suspension, M compound brakes with 6-piston calipers up front and single-piston calipers at the rear, M Sport seats, a flat-bottom steering wheel with M tricolor stitching, ambient lighting throughout the vehicle, has a top speed of 290 kilometers an hour or 180 miles per hour. It has variable braking, 10 levels of traction control, and yes, you can set this to be completely rear-wheel drive. It's a very customizable driving experience. It is a lot of fun. All right, so let's see what we can get 0 to 60 in this M4 competition. We've got everything in the right settings here. Preparing launch control. Can build up this boost. Woo! 3.4 seconds. This thing takes off like a rocket ship. It just shifts so fast. So very, very addicting to just downshift, upshift, downshift, upshift. Sounds so good, it pops and bangs out the back. Okay, very hot day for a convertible. It's like 36 degrees, or feels like 36 degrees Celsius here in southwestern Ontario, Canada, which is about 98 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It is hot. And now it's super cold. Sorry, I'm very far behind on editing these videos. I shot the M4 back in August 2025. It's now November 2025. I gotta pick up the pace here, I guess. So the reason I'm jumping in here is to introduce today's sponsor, Vredestein Tires. So for those of you that follow the channel regularly, you know I have a Mazda 3 turbo hatch, and you may also know that I have Vredestein Hypertrack all-weather tires, and they've been absolutely fantastic. Now last year we had a ton of snow, so I thought it would be a good idea to get some winter tires this year, and Vredestein actually sent me some of their Windtrack Pros. I've just gotta buy some rims for them, but I'm super excited to test these out this winter, and hey, maybe you'll see them in a 5-year long-term review on my Mazda 3. Now maybe you live in a mild climate and you don't need full-out winter tires. Well, Vredestein makes a ton of different tires, and recently my brother had the Quattrak Pro Plus installed on his Audi A3. These tires carry the 3-peak mountain snowflake rating, which means they're fully rated for winter use. They also deliver best-in-class performance on wet roads and have excellent water evacuation to help prevent aquaplaning. And of course, like I mentioned, Vredestein offers more than just these tires. From all-weathers to summers, winters, and even all-terrain tires, you can find the right fit for your car or maybe your BMW M4 at vredestein.ca. If you're in Canada, just head to the site, enter your location, and you'll see exactly where to find your nearest tire dealer. So this M4 Competition Cabriolet does cost more than a regular M4 Competition. Regular M4 Competition is going to cost around 100 grand Canadian, and this is going to run about $121,000 here in Canada. And then if you want the Cabriolet in the US, it's about $97,000, $98,000 starting. Now this Laguna Green metallic color is a $5,000 option, so it is pretty expensive. It jumps that price up quite a bit. Although I will say I liked the deep frozen green that we had on the Z4 M40i a couple weeks ago. So this is the ivory white merino leather interior. Looks really nice from the outside. I would just be very scared about getting this interior dirty. So I would probably opt for a brown or a black interior. This particular spec has the anthracite silver soft top, which is not up at the moment, but I'll show you a shot of it here. So for this LCI, we do have updated daytime running lights. They kind of look like fangs. They're pretty cool. And on the rear, we've got these really interesting looking tail lights that come from the CSL, and they say BMW laser right there. So the front end on these M3 and M4s has really grown on me. When it first came out, I wasn't too sure, and I don't really really like it on the 430i and the 440i. They kind of look like buck teeth, but here it looks better all blacked out. So one of the refreshing things about this spec is that it has silver rims, not blacked out rims like pretty much every other sports car out there today. These are forged, and you do have 19-inch rims up front and 20-inch on the back. And these exhaust pipes back here are 100% real, no funny fake business going on, and they sound pretty sweet. The only big complaint I have this week is just how big these doors are, and they are heavy and they fall back in pretty easily. If you have another car in your driveway, they're very long, so you got to leave a lot of space between your cars. Now, if you're wondering about fuel, this does take 93 octane, 91 minimum, but if you want performance, you're going to be putting in that 93. All right, let's look at your opinion on the design of the M4 Competition. Well, across Instagram and YouTube, we got 435 votes, and 68% of you approve of the design. Now, I have to say, Instagram was a lot more favorable to the M4. It got 88% over there and 63% on YouTube, but we got more votes on YouTube, so interesting. Okay, let's look at the interior now, but we're gonna put the top up because the mosquitoes are absolutely relentless right now. So let's put this top up. Goes up pretty quick. We've got that nice anthracite silver top going over. Very good. That air conditioning is blasting. And now just some mosquitoes that are trapped in here. So I gotta get these guys out. All right, I think I've cooled down here and gotten rid of all the mosquitoes out of here. Anyways, this is a 14.9-inch center display screen here, so basically 15 inches, and then you got a 12.3-inch screen for the driver's display. Controversial for some people would really just like to go back to analog controls. It works pretty good, this screen. I will just say I wish there was a fan button where I could just turn the fan speed up for the air conditioning. You have to go through a menu here and then do the fan speed, and I know you can tell it to turn the fan speed down, but really I would just like to go back or forth with a dial. Anyways, let's look at this screen quickly. This is an M car, so you get a little bit more with this screen. It looks a little more fancy, a little more sporty. We've got our drive setup here. There is a map over here, and then media radio, telephone, personal assistant, tires, engine, and then we have a live view of the car. So if I turn the turn signal on, turn signal in a BMW, that's crazy. But if you put the top down, it'll show the top going down. If you turn the wheels, it shows the wheels turning. It's pretty cool. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, and that's how it looks. Really stretched out, really big, really nice, looks cool. If you want to just get back to your main menu, you just hit that M button there. Anyways, because this is an M car, we've got some extra stuff in the screen here. We've got an M drift analyzer, which I would love to use, but I don't want to go to jail and I don't have a track to try this out on. Now the big key stuff is going to be down here with your setup. So you've got a million different options for customizing your drive. So we've got engine, chassis, steering, brake, M, X drive. You can make it four-wheel drive sport, or two-wheel drive. So you can actually make this car completely rear-wheel drive, which is so cool. There's an M1 and an M2, and you can configure these to however you'd like. For M2, I've made that kind of the full jam, full experience of sport. So if I hit M2 here, it goes all the way over to Sport Plus, Sport, four-wheel drive, Sport. I could put that into two-wheel drive and make this a rear-wheel drive vehicle. And I've tried it a little bit, and man, the back end really wants to get out. It is pretty sweet. You can also control the level of traction control. So it's a lot of customization you don't see in a lot of other vehicles. Now this M4 doesn't have the full carbon package, which would change this area to carbon. All the spots down here would turn into carbon fiber. You'd get carbon fiber paddle shifters. So right now we've just got kind of regular paddle shifters. The M carbon paddle shifters look really cool. It does really spice this car up a bit. We do have a big, massive heads-up display, and it shows you a lot of different information. It's customizable, it changes with your drive modes too. This one does have the driver assistance package upgrade, so it will change lanes for you on the highway. It will center you in the lane as well. Pretty cool. You just kind of hit the blinker and it will shift over into the lane for you. You don't have to do anything. Now, like a lot of new BMWs, this does have a really good 360 camera. So you've got your top-down view here. I can see behind me. Then you have this 3D view, which you can see around the vehicle, which is really cool. Gives you sort of an animated look at the car. That has red brakes on this one. We have black brakes, but at least it gets the color of the car, right? So that's good. Very nice that we have an actual shifter and not that little nubby thing that's in some other BMW cars. Now on this shifter, you have arrows up and down, and this is to change the aggressiveness of your shifts. So when you throw it all the way up to 3, it shifts a lot faster. It's just ready to go. It's like race mode ready. Now where the cup holders are, we do have a wireless charger and a regular USB going on in there, 2 nice cup holders. And then there are some unique buttons here for your neck, particularly if you're driving this in the cold and you have the top down. You do have little heaters which are in the headrest. It's a little fan and it shoots out hot air at you. I definitely don't want that on today. And then of course, to put your top down, you just press this button. Now this M4 does have 2 options for memory seats. The passenger side does not have memory seat. However, both seats have the illuminated M4 logo at night, and these seats are comfortable. They're pretty good for the most part. They do have leg extensions, which is always really nice. Now, trunk space is pretty limited, not too much space going on back here. Now, when you have the top down, this is how much space you get in the trunk. I'm showing you some of my camera gear. This would fold back if the top was up, but right now this is about as much space as you get. But luckily, you do get some extra space with this pass-through in the rear seats, and that connects right to the trunk space. Now here's something practical. I had to bring a foldable picnic table to a family gathering when I had this, and it worked. There you go. It's practical. So I've never driven an M4 in any shape or form in my life at all. I've driven the M3 competition for like 10 minutes, so I wouldn't really call that driving it. But this is the only experience I have with an M4, and this is xDrive, so this is all-wheel drive. So it's a little bit more controlled into the turn here. Oh, it's so good. This thing handles amazingly. And it is so hard to keep this car under the speed limit. All right, second launch. Let's see how fast we can go this time. Preparing launch control. Oh! Woo! 3.3 seconds. We just beat our 3.4. And I've seen online people do 3.1 seconds. It's a lot faster than BMW says it is. So the customization in here is endless, basically. But if I throw everything into comfort and then efficient for the engine and then just 4-wheel drive, not 4-wheel drive sport, this thing doesn't feel stiff or bumpy. The bumps actually feel pretty good, surprisingly, on these really bumpy country roads I'm out on. So it doesn't really feel like you're compromising on comfort that much. As a convertible, it's great. When you get the windows up here and you put this wind diffuser back here as well, or wind deflector, it's pretty nice in here. It is a very windy day today, so it's handling this pretty well. For the most part throughout the week, I have been driving with just the windows completely down. I've never even put this wind deflector on. This is the first time I've used it. So if you haven't noticed yet, I definitely have a sunburn already from this car. Yeah, I don't know if convertibles are really for pale people like me, but it is a fun experience. I've mostly driven with the top down at nighttime because I'm a vampire, I guess. This summer has been very hot in southwestern Ontario, so driving with the top down, you really got to be moving and getting that airflow going. Otherwise, you just feel like you're burning up. That goes for any convertible. So if you're wondering about this convertible top, it does go down while you're driving. You just throw that back down and it will come up. As long as you're going under 50 kilometers an hour, it's good to do this. So here it goes. I'm starting to get a sunburn, so here we go. Nice. And the windows will go up. Nice. These soft tops have gotten so good. This is a very, very quiet interior. I've got everything set to comfort mode now. Very quiet. Once you throw this thing into comfort mode, it's like a completely different vehicle. I'm doing about 90 kilometers an hour here. Not a whole lot of wind noise or anything. And I haven't really heard much wind noise, and I didn't hear wind noise when I was on the highway either. All right, so we got 3.3 seconds with the top down. Will there be a difference with the top up? Well, let's find out right now. Preparing launch control. Oh my goodness. Woo! 3.3 exactly again. That is consistent. 3.3 it is. I'll take it. That is fast. That is very fast. But yeah, let's get back to driving with the top down. So I'll slow down to 50 kilometers an hour here, and you can see it go down. So we just press this button down. Obviously nobody's around, that's why I'm doing this. There comes the wind. And now it's very bright. I have to change my camera settings here. There we go. And there we go. Easy peasy. And then just bring this back up. Yeah, that's not so easy to do as when you're driving, so you probably just want to pull over and do that. But I actually noticed that wind deflector makes a pretty big difference. This thing just feels glued to the ground. So you're probably not wondering about this, but fuel economy is, let's just go to when I started driving, 539 kilometers I've put on this vehicle, and I'm averaging about 15.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So not super great, but that is because I've been driving it really hard, and I know people don't really care about fuel economy in these vehicles. Since factory, this has been averaging about 13.4 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, if you're wondering about the fuel tank size, it's about 59 liters, which is about 15.6 gallons. I was able to fill up with 93 octane for about $83 Canadian, and that was pretty much from empty. So I had that frozen green Z4 M40i a couple weeks ago. I know I'm really slow at getting these videos out. And that was manual, so that was kind of a whole different experience. This is still very engaging though with these paddle shifters. Still a lot of fun to drive this car. You can't get this Cabrio in manual. But I would say the whole experience just felt different. That was a two-seater. This is I mean, you're not really putting anybody back there either, but it was just a bit of a smaller vehicle. So it's cheaper, so there's that. In terms of the back seats, you can fit adults back there, but they're going to be very uncomfortable. So I wouldn't recommend that for a long drive. It's mostly for like really little kids or your dog, and just use it as storage. Very fun to have this vehicle for the week. Thank you BMW Canada for letting me drive this. Kind of just exciting to get to drive some of these cars for the first time. I'm kind of new at this. I don't have the full out experience that some of the other car journalists on YouTube have. So I'm just sort of experiencing all these vehicles for the first time. Anyways, thank you for watching to the end here, and we will see you soon.